All right, I'm joined by Jacob from Versaware. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited to talk about Versaware and this all-in-one smart kitchen appliances that you have. I went to the website and also noticed there's an app associated with it. So why don't you tell us here at the Spoon about Versaware?
Yeah, it all started when my co-founder and I were back in college, and we were given pretty strict nutritional metrics that we needed to hit for every meal because we were athletes. And we soon realized that living in a house with six other people, meticulously tracking every ounce of food that went into your body for the purposes of understanding the complete nutritional breakdown was pretty tedious. And if you know anything about college homes, living in an environment like that, the kitchen is probably the most heavily coveted area in the house because it's shared amongst all the people
Mm,
that are in it. So we basically were forced out of necessity to find a more efficient way to track, the nutrients that were going into our body to meet these requirements, and then so that's how Versaware was spawned. And then so basically what we did is we built the proof of concept and drove from California out to Michigan to align ourselves with manufacturing experts and venture capital as well, to build a all-in-one comprehensive recipe AI and nutrition tracking platform that's integrated inside a kitchen appliance. And the genesis of it is pretty much at a high level. Um, we're optimizing for you, like particularly the best meals specifically catered for your nutritional requirements or your dietary restrictions, all the way to even the ingredients that you have. And we're packaging that up and telling you like, oh, these are the meals that satisfy those requirements, and here's how you make it. And then we build that entire
right.
platform into a kitchen appliance to make the process completely seamless from start to finish, so that you don't have to think about it.
So let me make sure I get this correct. So Versaware has the app is already in the store. Is that
No,
correct?
so that was just it wasn't even a beta; it was an alpha, arguably, that we released to a bunch
Okay,
of beta or a bunch of alpha testers to gauge consumer demand, and that was back in February.
got
But
it.
since then, there have been a significant amount of improvements because we've basically built the entire engine that lives on the app that you see currently on our website into the appliance itself. And so now the entire system can, the user can interact with it without ever needing to touch their phone, which was where we were
Right.
intending to go originally, to make it truly all, an all-in-one device. But we will still have an app
Yeah.
where everything's tracked across time so that the user can see it, as well as link up Bluetooth devices to get calories in and stuff like that if they want to.
Exactly. And to truth be told, like I have used a lot of these devices, and if I have to use it in tandem with a phone, I will sometimes. But I like the idea of it just being an all connected device that's in my kitchen
Yeah.
that I'm just like checking out everything I need to, recipes, etc. So this is great, and I think a lot of us obviously need that when we're like all being more health conscious in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. And like, no, most Americans don't have the nutritional background to understand what they need to eat, let alone the time to actually, manually scan and manually input a bunch of nutritional information for every ingredient associated with the entire meal. So having an artificial intelligence system that can spit out those, specifically catered recipe recommendations for the user based on whatever input queries they define, and then basically giving them the platform to walk through that recipe itself, all built into one device, is it's revolutionary, I think.
Yeah, and I
but
think you're part of a trend, of course, as well. Like a very good trend where the consumer wants to have this information at their fingertips because
Yeah,
they're tired of not knowing what the heck they're eating.
yeah, exactly.
Would you say like a USP for you is something like the data set that you're
A-
building?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. Yeah. The Versaware at its core, at its essence, is not, a consumer electronics company. What we are is a data company. We take your personalized data, and the more you pump into the system, the better the optimized AI is. So, after about a week of use, the AI will be good enough to the point where it understands what you like to eat, and it'll be able to push you recommendations on, oh, this is a good meal for you to make. And then ideally there will become a point where it knows everything that's already in your fridge. It knows your nutritional parameters, any culinary restrictions within your family, and you'll just walk up to the device and it'll basically tell you like, here are the options of meals that you can make, and just pick whichever one you want to make, and then it'll walk you through making it. So we're
Yep.
trying to really, minimize the leg lifting on the consumer, because if you've ever used like a MyFitnessPal, for example, or any of those recipe apps, it's quite tedious to, first of all, locate and find a recipe that meets your dietary requirements, or, ingredients that you have available to you, as well as to meticulously go back and forth between devices to actually build the recipe itself.
Yeah.
And so if you eliminate all that work, you really simplify the process. You waste less water. There's less clutter. It's more efficient for the consumer from a time perspective, as well as a bunch of other things.
And when you were mentioning like checking out what you have at home, that's one of my favorite things to see coming in the future, which is like cataloging what I have here.
Yeah.
I know there's a little bit of a security issue around that. People are wondering, where we're going to land on the side of like how much information do we give companies about what we have in our house. I'm on the side of like just take it all. Like,
Yeah.
let me know what I have, because I don't even know what I have. How many things have
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
bad because I don't even, catalog them. So,
Yeah. No. I mean, again, like the paramount importance of the data is not, so that we can utilize it for financial gain. It's to make the recommendations for you as the consumer more accurate,
yep.
right? The more data that we analyze to optimize the system for you, the better the recommendations are going to be for you, and the happier you're actually going to be, right?
Yep.
So that's the whole
Yeah.
point of, why we care so much about, what it is that you're eating and what the system is, because that allows us to build a better product for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm on board. By the way, that's what I'm saying. As I'll give you
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
information.
No, no, you're good. You're good.
So, hey, before I let you go, this is great. Versaware, everybody should check it out. Here at the show, if you're watching it, go check out you at the booth. But also, what are you excited about in general when it comes to the future of food and technology? What's another thing you're excited about?
Yeah. So something that I'm really excited about is the fact that we will get to a point where the environment that surrounds the kitchen is not antiquated, and it's actually enjoyable. And it's enjoyable not only because the process to build something that is going to be beneficial to you health wise. It is going to be that much more efficient, and it's going to require a lot less effort on the part of the consumer. The last thing that you want to do at the end of the day is spend 30 minutes figuring out what you can make, and then another hour actually making it. Whereas, after a long day of work, it'd be pretty nice to just go home up to something without having to even think and be like, oh, that, I want to make that, and then just
Yeah,
be walked right through it. To not have to think after a 12-hour workday about what you need to eat and plan, for the upcoming week, I think that's going to be a massive benefit, and it'll catalyze a whole new wave around, the environment within the kitchen, and I think we'll start to see a revolutionary transformation in the way that people interact with food because of it.
and I'm excited for that too. I'm so excited for that. I think, like you
Yeah.
said, a lot of people are tired at the end of the day. We do make food every day, which is always crazy. You're like, and what do we have now?
Yeah.
And to the point
Yeah.
of nutrition, like I want to also make sure that when I'm eating, I feel well afterwards. That's like another part of this,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, you hit the
I
nail on
want
the
I
head.
want Star Trek and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when they would just like say, "Give me this, please," at
Yeah.
these nutritional values, and it would just spit it out.
Yep. And it doesn't even have to be, nutrition is like the backbone, the spine of our platform. But it could be, like I'm it could be something even associated with like with time, right? Like I don't want to spend more than 30 minutes making this meal, right? We'll be able
Yeah,
to spit out recommendations that meet that requirement, right? So it's
yeah,
not just nutrition. There's a bunch of other parameters that we can optimize for you, to the point where you don't have to think about, whether or not it's going to satisfy your requirement for whatever reason. You just, you can rely on the integrity of the system, and the system will just, it'll walk you through everything.
yeah.
And that's what I'm excited for, because I'm a recent college grad, right? And I've been probably eating the same dinner for the past year and a half, and it's getting quite boring. It's simply because
Yeah,
I don't have the time to do all the preparation and the shopping and everything like that, let alone the actual preparing of the meal itself. I just don't have that time. So, this is a product that I would heavily use, and I really, really think that a lot of other people could find, a significant amount of benefit as well, uh, leaning on both the efficiency and the nutritional side of things.
totally. Well, Jacob, thanks for being here at the Spoon, and
Yeah.
excited to learn more about Versaware.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Carlos. I really appreciate the time.